Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors will play the Portland Trail Blazers and will be without Jimmy Butler, who is injured. The injury appeared minor, but the player's ankle remains swollen, which has coach Steve Kerr concerned. Butler is a key player for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler is out tomorrow night in Portland, Warriors insider Anthony Slater reported on Monday. He sprained his ankle during practice on Friday. Steve Kerr said the team thought it was minor, but it remains slightly swollen. The hope is that he will return for the final preseason game on Friday. Golden State Warriors forward Jimmy Butler is entering his first full season with the team, following a mid-season trade from the Miami Heat. Despite the aging core, Butler along with superstar Steph Curry will be expected to headline a talented Warriors squad with the intent of being competitive in a loaded Western Conference. Butler fit right into Golden State after joining last year, emerging as a perfect secondary scoring option behind Curry. Butler enjoyed another productive season with the Heat and Warriors last year, playing 31.7 minutes and averaging 17.5 points, 5.4 rebounds, 5.4 assists and 1.4 steals over 55 games. The 36-year-old forward will look to be even more comfortable in Steve Kerr's offense with a full preseason of workouts and practice. Golden State Warriors forward Jimmy Butler 3:10, copyright Jesse Johnson Main Images and #169, Jesse Johnson Main Images as the Warriors prepare for their season opener on Tuesday, October 21 against the Los Angeles Lakers. Butler has played in the preseason. However, after appearing in the first two preseason games, Butler was absent from the Warriors' third game against the Lakers on Sunday, but Kerr mentioned the reason was an excused absence. Unfortunately, Kerr revealed on Monday that Butler had suffered an ankle sprain last Friday that is still affecting him, with the team hopeful his return could come on Friday for the team's preseason finale against the Portland Trail Blazers. Jimmy Butler is out tomorrow night in Portland now. He had an ankle sprain in practice on Friday. Steve Kerr said team thought it was minor, but it remains a little swollen. Hope is he returns for Friday's preseason finale, wrote ESPN's Anthony Slater. Butler's status will be monitored as the regular season approaches. If his ankle continues to bother him, Kerr would likely have to turn to Jonathan Kuminga to step in. Jimmy Butler is out tomorrow night in Portland now. He had an ankle sprain in practice on Friday. Steve Kerr said team thought it was minor, but it remains a little swollen. Hope is he returns for Friday's preseason finale. Anthony Slater, at Anthony Slater, October 13, 2025. Butler will be entering his 15th season in the NBA this year, having built a reputation as one of the league's most tenacious and versatile stars. Over his career, Butler has earned 6 All-Star selections, 5 All-NBA honors and 5 All-Defensive Team nods, showcasing his impact on both ends of the floor. He was drafted 30th overall by the Chicago Bulls in 2011 and quickly rose from a defensive specialist to a franchise focal point. Known for his clutch performances and relentless work ethic, Butler has consistently elevated his play in the postseason, averaging 21.1 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 4.7 assists per game across multiple playoff runs. His leadership, toughness, and ability to take over games in critical moments have made him one of the most respected veterans in the league. Jonathan Kuminga should retain a starting role on Tuesday. Kuminga's fit at the Warriors has long been a concern and played a major role in his elongated free agency process that took the entire offseason to resolve. Yet often Curry gets brought into such conversations, perhaps owing to the fact they're at opposite ends of their career, or simply because the 2x MVP is clearly Golden State's best player and everything the franchise does should revolve around him. The idea that Curry and Kuminga can't play well together is a false narrative though. Over the past 2 seasons the duo have actually been quite effective. The Warriors were a plus 9.4 in net rating in the 545 minutes Curry and Kuminga shared the floor together last season, while they were plus 5.3 in 1142 minutes the year before. Kuminga's fit with Butler and Green is of much greater concern, but that won't be in the immediate short term as Golden State prepare to face a young, athletic Portland team without their two veteran forwards. There was a mixed bag from Kuminga in Sunday's 126-116 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers, with the 23-year-old showcasing some of his improved passing with 6 assists but intertwining that with 5 turnovers. With Butler, Green and Moses Moody all out, it seems assured that Kuminga will retain his starting role. Curry's return should ease some of the offensive burden he felt on Sunday, while also providing much-needed spacing after some of Kuminga's turnovers against the Lakers came directly from forcing passes into a crowded paint area. Al Horford is also expected to suit up after missing the Lakers game, potentially giving fans more of a look at what could be a dynamic front-court combination with the veteran center's three-point shooting, high IQ, and defensive versatility mixed with Kuminga's raw talent and athleticism. Head coach Steve Kerr, via ESPN's Anthony Slater, is hopeful that Butler will return for Friday's preseason finale against the LA Clippers, but for now Kuminga gets an opportunity to prove again that his fit with Curry isn't the issue. Warriors former Roy candidate flashes all-star ability in Stephen Curry's absence versus Lakers. The Golden State Warriors faced off against the Los Angeles Lakers for their third contest of the 2025-26 preseason Sunday night, allowing their veteran impact players and newly acquired prospects to develop chemistry before the regular season gets underway. For Golden State, their 4-time NBA champion Stephen Curry and 6-time All-Star Jimmy Butler sat out for the evening due to a few lingering injuries. The pronounced lack of star power ultimately resulted in an increased role for the franchise's former number 19 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft Brandon Podziemski, and the 6'5" combo guard took full advantage of the opportunity. Despite the Warriors' 126-116 defeat in enemy territory, Podziemski turned heads with a sensational 23-point, 8-assist performance that may have gained him some favor from the team's coaching staff. Brandon Podziemski is yearning to prove he is the player Warriors coach Steve Kerr says he is and, therefore, would like to silence some of the critical chatter thrown his way by outside personnel evaluators, particularly those on social media, NBC Sports' Monty Poole wrote Monday. With Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler 3 out Sunday night, Kerr handed the offense to the youngsters. To Podziemski, with Jonathan Kuminga as his primary tag team partner. It was an audition of sorts, to see how the offense would perform without the usual producers. While Kuminga's performance in a 126-116 preseason loss to the Lakers in Los Angeles was equal parts grand and ghastly, Podziemski aced the test. In just 25 minutes of burn, Podziemski contributed 23 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds and 1 steal while shooting 62.5% from the field and knocking down 3 three-pointers. The Santa Clara University product controlled the game from all areas of the floor, assuming full responsibility as the Warriors' main offensive hub. Podziemski has become somewhat of a polarizing prospect for Golden State as he prepares for his third campaign with the team, due in large part to his inconsistent scoring prowess and Warriors owner Joe Lacob's early All-Star prediction for the two-way guard from last year. He has always been a more than capable defender and a charge-drawing machine, but adding a reliable jump shot into the fold could truly mark his ascension to stardom. Though his excellent effort materialized in a double-digit loss for his squad, Podziemski's all-around scoring chops and impressive patience while running the offense should instill some more confidence in the 2023 All-Rookie first-team selection moving forward. In 64 appearances for the Warriors this past season, Podziemski averaged 11.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 3.4 assists while registering a solid 0.8 defensive box plus-minus and finishing second in the NBA in charges drawn per game, 0.32. Beloved Warriors guard is falling apart with no sign of recovery. Buddy Hield's minutes could get very limited this season. Recap for October 13, 2025. As the Golden State Warriors enter the season, their off-season signing of DeAnthony Melton and the apparent resurgence of Brandon Podziemski both serve as strong signs for the continued viability of their backcourt. Yet, in the process, beloved guard Buddy Hield, who can be a somewhat inconsistent shooter and is difficult to trust in the most vital moments of games, could be hard-pressed to earn his minutes, and the Warriors may find themselves increasingly turning their other options instead. Hield, 32, was an integral piece to the morale and the chemistry that the team built up following the Jimmy Butler trade and will continue to be so in 2025-26. Yet, as far as his viability as a player goes, Melton, Podziemski and even Moses Moody may be surpassing Hield in the rotation as we speak. Buddy Hield could find it difficult to fit into a stacked backcourt this season. When Golden State acquired Hield in the convoluted Klay Thompson trade, many fans thought that they had found their new sharpshooter to be paired alongside superstar Stephen Curry. Yet, while Hield's early season performances gave fans hope, his inconsistent shooting throughout the course of the season led to him largely taking on a bench role behind Podziemski. At the same time as Hield can put up massive, season-altering games, such as his 33-point performance in Game 7 against the Houston Rockets, he is also liable to have duds, and, as the team attempts to contend for a championship this year, they may have more reliable options available. Podziemski has looked stellar so far this preseason, posting a team-high 23 points against the Los Angeles Lakers on Sunday and shooting 10 of 16 from the field. Moreover, although Moody is set to miss the rest of Golden State's preseason slate as he nurses a minor calf injury, his 5-4-7 performance from beyond the arc in their first preseason match bodes well for his ability to ingratiate his 3-and-D skill set into the bench rotation this season. Although Melton is still rehabbing the ACL tear he suffered last year with the Warriors, and is set to miss the beginning of the season as a result, his prowess as a point-of-attack defender could earn him serious consideration for starting minutes alongside Curry. Hield, meanwhile, has had a relatively slow start to the preseason, shooting just 4 for 13 from three-point range despite the significant run he has gotten thus far. It is important to note that Golden State refused to consider moving Hield as additional salary in a potential Jonathan Kuminga sign-on trade as a result of the extra perimeter shooting he brings to the rotation. Yet, while Hield's game hasn't changed, the Warriors' situation certainly has. With guards such as Gary Payton II, and even possibly Seth Curry, fighting for rotational minutes, Hield has his work cut out for him to earn his spot, and it remains to be seen how effectively he will be able to do so. Mike Dunleavy also addressed Stephen Curry's decline. Kuminga's situation is one thing, the more concerning prediction about the Warriors during the 2025-26 NBA season is superstar Stephen Curry's decline. However, the Warriors GM called out those predictions while backing the team's cornerstone superstar. What's to say he is going to slow down? People have been predicting a fall-off for the last 3 or 4 seasons, and he hasn't done that, Dunleavy stated. Sure, Curry hasn't gone through a steep decline, but he is 38 years old and definitely in the twilight years of his NBA career. Keeping that in mind, Dunleavy did predict a realistic deadline for Steph's prime. We're expecting more of the same. We don't take it for granted, but the way this guy takes care of himself. We think he's got at least another year, 2, 3, whatever it may be, in him. Certainly this year, though, Dunleavy concluded. Last season, Curry did average fewer than 25.0 ppg during a full season for the first time since the 2015-16 campaign, but the Warriors' top brass has complete trust in his abilities. Warriors Mike Dunleavy Jr. admits uncertainty with Steve Kerr entering final year. Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. made it clear Friday that head coach Steve Kerr will have full control over his future in Golden State. Appearing on 95.7 The Game's Steiny and Guru show, Dunleavy said the organization plans to give Kerr the grace of the season to decide what comes next. Yeah, I guess technically there is uncertainty, Dunleavy said. This isn't really a regular situation with a head coach where he's in the last year of his deal. We know what it is with Steve. He's been here a long time. He's been an amazing part of this franchise, and as far as I'm concerned, can stay as long as he wants. Kerr, who signed a 2-year extension in February 2024, is entering the final season of that contract. Dunleavy acknowledged that while the timing might not seem ideal, there's no rush to address it. I get how maybe it doesn't line up, he said. But it's hard to see Steve moving on, or to see Steph finish his career without Steve on the sidelines. I think it'll all work out, but we're not going to jump into anything. We're going to go on Steve's terms. And right now, he just wants to take it and see how the season goes. and no problem on our end. Kerr, 59, has been with the Warriors since 2014, leading the team to 4 championships and 6 NBA Finals appearances. Dunleavy's comments make it clear that as long as Kerr wants to keep coaching, Golden State's sideline remains his. Warriors guard is losing valuable court time before inevitable, but brief, departure. Still awaiting a preseason debut. The Golden State Warriors completed their 3rd preseason game with Sunday's 126-116 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers at Crypto.com Arena, yet there's still no sign of Seth Curry as fans patiently await the debut of the veteran sharpshooter. Curry signed a training camp contract with the Warriors to round out their roster after Jonathan Kuminga's free agency saga, only for the 35-year-old to still be watching on from the sidelines as he ramps up his workload with the fitness staff. Seth Curry is still yet to make his preseason debut with the Warriors. Golden State now have only 2 games left in their 5-game preseason schedule. Tuesday's outing against the Portland Trail Blazers at Moda Center, before heading back to Chase Center to host the LA Clippers on Friday. The younger Curry sat alongside his brother in street clothes during Sunday's game, so could both return together and suit up against the Trail Blazers? If Seth isn't part of Tuesday's rotation, it would put another nail into a complete lack of valuable court time to acclimatize with his new teammates and the Warrior system throughout preseason. Some may argue that Curry's preseason action isn't overly important anyway, given he won't be available for the first 12 or so games. He will inevitably depart at the end of preseason as Golden State are too close to the second tax apron, before re-signing next month when they officially have the room to bring him back. If anything, that makes whatever time Curry can get in preseason all the more valuable. How effective is he going to be coming into the team midseason without much previous preparation? That's not going to be an easy task, particularly if the Warriors don't get off to the kind of start they hope and there's increased pressure on the team. In the meantime, Curry is also missing a major opportunity to push for a rotation role once he is available. By the time he returns in mid-November, De'Anthony Melton is likely to be back and ideally a key part of Steve Kerr's rotation as another shooting guard option ahead of Curry in the pecking order. The Warriors clearly have a plan to bring Curry back into the fold once he's ready to go, but there's no doubt this is a less than ideal situation where the 11-year veteran is missing out on valuable time to integrate to his new team without the worry of the win-loss aspect. With just 2 preseason games remaining, the Golden State Warriors are nearing what could be a pivotal season in franchise history. While the team showed early promise, Monday's 126-116 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers raised some concerns. Playing without stars Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler, the Warriors struggled to find rhythm and looked disorganized on both ends of the floor. Naturally, following the defeat, head coach Steve Kerr didn't mince words during his post-game press conference. When asked if rookie Brandon Podziemski has effectively secured a spot in the starting 5 after his 23-point outing, Kerr offered a measured response. "I can't say that yet. We've got to see where we are. Brandon's going to play a ton. He's a hugely important player for us. But the starting lineup frankly is a little tricky for us, given the pieces and AL's age," he said. The veteran coach further explained why Al Horford's age mattered so much. "If Al were a little younger, he'd be in the starting lineup for sure. But if he's gonna play limited minutes, it's tougher to start him and finish the game. He's not playing as many minutes as he would have a few years ago. So we still have a lot to think about, but Brandon is going to be a huge part of it." Given the Warriors' talented yet mixed-aged roster, the Dub Nation HC has some homework left before they settle on the core, as 4 players stay in the race apart from the biggies. Al Horford, the former Boston Celtics star, is already 39 and not the player he once used to be. This has put 4 of the Golden State's top players' futures within the roster at risk. Yes, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Gary Payton II, and Buddy Hield are all in contention for a starting role. While many thought it would be young guard Podziemski who would most likely join Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, alongside maybe Horford, that's now up for debate. Now, everyone is intrigued to know who Steve Kerr will pick as his shooting guard amid the team's aging issue. Will it be Podziemski, Moody, Hield, or GP2? Why don't we assess which of them will complement the team's veteran core best? Who will be the Golden State Warriors' starting shooting guard this season? We're just a few days away from the opening night, and the Golden State Warriors are yet to figure out their starting lineup. Well, let's compare the options they have at their disposal. Starting with, of course, the most popular and arguably the best option, Brandon Podziemski. The 22-year-old guard is probably the best bet at the shooting guard position for the Dubs. Podziemski has the numbers to stake a claim in the starting five. Last season, he averaged 11.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 3.4 assists across 64 games, while shooting 37.8% from three. Despite his credentials, Steve Kerr appears inclined to keep him off the starting lineup, favoring a bench role. That approach allows room for Moses Moody and Buddy Hield, each bringing distinct skills that could complement the rotation. While Moody brings in perimeter defense alongside his solid shooting, Hield is also a great scorer. However, Moody has been ruled out of the preseason due to a calf injury, putting his availability at least on the opening night in danger. Last but not least, Kerr can also explore the option of starting with Gary Payton II, who's pretty well known for being a sound defender, but that's highly unlikely given his scoring ability. So, after looking at all the options, Brandon Podziemski, despite what Steve Kerr said, seems to be the best way forward for the Dubs.